Hello everybody, my name is Rose Shards, but feel free to call me Rose, Rosie, or Chloe, and today I am coming at you guys with another Warriors discussion. Now, if you guys have been following my community tab, you would know that I actually did not plan on making another Warriors video at this point in time, but I was, looking at my recent videos, and I realized I've actually only posted I think the last time I posted a Warrior Cats video was 6 or 7 months ago, and then before that, I actually don't know when I last posted a discussion. So even though I am trying to, kind of distance myself from Warriors, I figured, it's actually been a while. And so I figured I could take some time to talk about a Warriors arc I really did enjoy, even thinking about it today. And that is Dawn of the Clan. So here I am drawing my boy Greywing, and, Dawn of the Clan's really shaped the way I see Warriors, the other arcs today, and I am going to get into that right after I take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. If you haven't heard, Skillshare is a really cool online community with thousands of interesting and unique classes for creative individuals and more. There's a huge variety of topics on the platform for you to explore. Lettering, design, baking, you name it. Especially with quarantine, it's a great way to spend some time learning some pretty cool stuff you might not have discovered otherwise, and definitely gives you the opportunity to further hone your skills. Speaking of honing skills, I've personally been really interested in further developing my digital painting skills, especially with backgrounds. Two classes I've especially liked, Digital Landscapes, Painting Environments in Photoshop, and Digital Painting, From Sketch to Finished Product, have both been by Hardy Fowler, a super talented digital artist. His classes have really helped me approach digital painting in new ways and have really inspired me to try new things. I especially like how he talks about blocking in your paintings, and watching him work with a secondary light source was honestly really motivating for me. It's great that I can seek out and learn from professional talent on this platform. Not to mention there's no ads, always new classes being made, and an annual membership costs less than $10 a month. But the first 1,000 subscribers of mine to join using the link in the description will actually receive 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. So now's the perfect time to learn something new. Anyways, back to Warriors. As I said, I think about Dawn of the Clans very, very fondly. It's definitely my favorite Warriors arc. It's the one arc I can look back on and think, this was actually pretty solid compared to Omen of the Stars. If you don't know, I think Omen of the Stars was really bad. But Dawn of the Clans was just something new. It provided a much needed, in my opinion, fresh experience for readers, considering all of the previous books that we had at that point were they were just expansions on pre-existing characters. Firestar, we get it, we like you, but you've been in 40 books now. I want something new, But, so anyways, as I was getting further along in Dawn of the Clans, I was starting to wonder when the clans we know today would start to form, and, how and why. But by the time I got to the final chapter of the final book, I was quite surprised because something major actually had been ignored. Clan borders. And I know that seems weird and oddly specific, but I'll get more into it. So I know that Clear Sky definitely had very strict borders, and this caused a lot of fights in the first 3 books, but he was also really the only cat who cared to have borders. Not only after that, after the first battle, he completely changed his ways and, tried to be more friendly and caring towards those he knew. So basically, by the end, everyone was still very friendly with each other, and it didn't quite make sense to me because, the clans that we know are very different. But, however, granted, I have not actually read any of the Dawn of the Clans Super Editions because I've been busy, but I don't see how there could be a reasonable explanation for having strict clan boundaries. Just as even though the no mate or children medicine cat rule was established in Mothflight's vision, I still do not see the explanation behind that rule as reasonable, especially since, Mothflight was, always a character that was, very easily distracted, and it wasn't a medicine cat having kit problem, it was a her problem, sorry, I said it. But, anyways, clans we know today. All clans have leaders, deputies, medicine cats, warriors, apprentices. They all, follow the same traditions with, how they name their cats. They all follow the same warrior code. They meet each full moon for a gathering, and they even go to the same place. unless you're bad, after they die, which is, Star Clan. They are essentially the same, the only difference is being their clan names and where they live. So, I was starting to wonder, especially after seeing the system in Dawn of the Clans, why do they hate and disrespect each other? Dawn of the Clans, as I said, was extremely refreshing to see. Yes, the clans had their different territories and such, but they recognized each other as mutuals and cared not only for themselves but each other as well. Something that I really, really loved about Dawn of the Clans, and I can see how this wouldn't, make sense all the time, but I really loved how they were really willing to share their resources and their food with each other, because, I really loved how they're always it's greedy for us to take it all, there's more to go around, so they would always share with each other, when they needed it. But basically, they cared about each other all the time, they were very nice to each other, and to them, territory meant nothing other than where a cat decided to live, and, that's what makes sense to me. And, recognizing how similar the clans are, this is, as I said, what makes the most sense. For example, why should a ThunderClan cat, make fun of a RiverClan cat just because they like fish, or whatever, you get what I'm saying. You don't hate people from neighboring cities just because they live somewhere else, so why should it be different for the clans? Back to the system that we were introduced to. These cats, while showing some respect for each other at some points, they completely seem to despise each other at other points. Simply seeing a patrol on their side of the border is enough to start a verbal fight, and some of these fights have escalated to become physical. Sent from another clan being found just slightly within your borders is seen as bad, and many cats have given their lives in an endless war over just a small bit of territory. Looking at you, Sunning Rocks. Even romance between cats in different clans is forbidden, despite the increased chances of inbreeding. So, why is it that they meet each other each month, lend herbs and such to each other when it's needed, and even work to fight off threats together? Why do they care when another clan is, extremely in danger? Based on how they usually behave, it should be seen as a win when another clan is at risk of dying out. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me that these cats fight and kill each other, but also help each other out at other times, and, don't want each other to be hurt? They either need to have a respectful relationship all the time, or they need to hate each other all the time. I mean, I guess, it can kind of, depend, but, what we have where it's oh yeah, hey, I hate you, but, also don't die, that's weird, I don't know. But I know what you might be thinking. The books could get boring without the hatred, and I completely do agree. However, just because they don't like each other doesn't mean that they won't ever get into fights. So, it really just depends on how it's written. I mean, the way I see it is I'm sure you fought with someone you've cared about, and things can definitely happen in the heat of the moment. And the way I see it is this could be a way to push the plot and make things even more intense. If everyone usually gets along and cares about each other, then things are for sure getting bad if even now they're fighting. Again, Dawn of the Clans did this with Clear Sky, and it worked really, really well. I just think that this could make things way more emotional and impactful. Even the first battle in Dawn of the Clans, when they were fighting and the siblings were fighting despite really caring, you cared more. If they're just fighting because just because they are, it's it just doesn't matter as much. So if they're usually very tight, but then even they're being forced into fights and stuff because things are getting so bad, that can just be so much better for the series. Again, Dawn of the Clans did this with Clear Sky in the first battle, and it worked really well. It was the first time I actually ever shed a tear during Warrior Cats, and I'd read 30 books before that, and I'd never felt any emotion towards the characters. Maybe I'm just weird, but whatever. Or if we're gonna go for the route that they do hate each other, I think that they would need more reason to. Maybe they're actively competing for resources. For example, the territories can be shrinking, or it can be very harsh times, and there's just not enough to go around, so it's they have to fight each other, or else I can completely understand not liking somebody who's taking resources from you now, your children are dying or whatever, but something that I think would personally be more interesting would be for them to have grown to have different traditions. For example, maybe Shadow Clan believes in violence and killing, whereas another clan Thunder Clan doesn't. I remember, obviously we had Broken Star, who was pushing kids to fight and train, and that was seen as wrong, but what if all of Shadow Clan genuinely believed in that? you know, like, only have the strongest survive. Who cares if people get injured or, like, sick or whatever? Like, we don't care for the weak. If you're weak, you're just, like, bringing the rest of us down. And, like, I can see why, you know, a clan that, like, let's say maybe ThunderClan's more chill, I can see why they would be like, hey, like, that's really bad, and, like, we don't like you guys, because you guys are, like, cruel, you're power hungry, you don't care about, like, anybody who doesn't whatever. So I can definitely see how their different beliefs could cause them to, you know, separate from each other. Or something that I think would have been very, very interesting would be, you know, maybe have, like, religion be what divided them. Because even in the real world, you know, with us humans, religion is a massive, you know, cause for disagreement. You know, relationships don't work out because of, like, religion sometimes, friendships, like, people are often torn apart because of religion, and, you know, I think it could be very interesting, like, maybe this clan's like, oh, like, we believe in following StarClan, and then this other one's like, oh, like, we don't care, like, we don't believe in our ancestors, or, like, this other one's like, I don't know, like, you get the idea. Religion divides people, and so maybe seeing them being completely divided over StarClan, the Dark Forest, that could have been, like, very interesting to see in the series, and it would, like, make sense for them to just dislike each other, because, like, I don't get them just, like, seeing each other from, like, across the river, and they're like, ew, you're disgusting, I'm gonna beat you up, I don't know. But continuing on, if they're still gonna live close to each other, they need to have a reason to stay, despite them, like, most likely, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, if I hated my neighbor, like, I would, like, want to move, so, like, I think they would need more reason to stay. So, like, maybe it could be, like, I don't know, I would say that they shouldn't look out for each other, and they should actively want other clans to die out so they can get more space and resources, but, like, maybe under very rare, and I mean very, very rare circumstances, they could come together. And, you know, that could kind of be like, if they like each other and fight, and, like, it has, like, more of an impact because it's very unusual, that could also have more of an impact in this case because they always hate each other, so if, like, they actually have to come together, you know, things are, again, getting very serious. But, like, honestly, with how the system is now, like, it just doesn't, like, if a clan's always, like, if a clan's losing out on resources or herbs or whatever, like, you know that they can always just go to the other clan and then they'll ask, and then, like, you know, things will probably be fine because they'll probably be, like, some level of conflict, like, what if we don't give you these herbs and blah, 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 and then they're stressed, like, oh my goodness, like, what if we can't get the resources, but then it usually works out in the end. Maybe if they, like, really hated each other, it could have been, like, there could have been a very interesting arc where a character from the outside, like Rusty, brings them all together and learns them to, like, either accept each other's differences or, like, kind of, like, you know, I don't know, to, like, just, like, you know, come together and, like, be, like, Dawn of the Clans, because, like, that's just the system that makes the most sense to me. But the point is, what we currently have simply doesn't make any sense. They either need to care about each other all the time and only care about keeping cats that are outside of the clans away, or there needs to be more of a justified reason for them to dislike each other. I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm, like, really confused with how the clans feel about each other just based on, like, what the books say. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, they hate each other, but then I'm like, wait, like, do they care about each other? I don't even know, like, honestly. I mean, I'm just going with hate because, like, they kind of kill each other sometimes, and that's, like, I kind of feel like you don't just kill people you like, but I don't know, that's just me. I mean, granted, I never questioned it, but now seeing how it could be, or, you know, should be, it just seems completely whack to me. I honestly can't even take most of the books that seriously anymore, because as it is, we just have, like, some weird mix where they, you know, seem to actively dislike each other, you know, always, like, taunting each other, always whatever, but then if they need each other, they're there, like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense how they'll kill each other in wars, like, you know, because they're, like, always fighting over territory or whatever, but then, oh crap, there's the kin, I think they all fought for the kin, whatever, oh no, let's all band together to fight them, because we care about Shadow Clan. I don't even remember. I'm probably just, like, spewing nonsense, but, like, I don't know. All I'm saying is they can't follow the same beliefs, but hate each other. I mean, they either need to, like, you know, there needs to be something that's, like, actively separating and dividing them, or I personally think that the Dawn of the Clans way is easiest and you know, makes the most sense. Like, if you see another cat by the border, just be like, hey, what's up? Instead of being like, ew, you're absolutely disgusting, and I hope you die. I don't know. But I really do think that the hate way could be more interesting too. I mean, again, they hate each other, but I think that if, like, that concept were pushed just a little further, you know, with, like, you know, maybe, like, divided by religion, divided by whatever, because there's not, like, whatever. I think that would have been cool to see too, but we're not going to get that now. So the most I can hope for would be for things to, you know, go back to the way of Dawn of the Clans, because I think it's what makes the most sense. Plus, we're really going to have a massive inbreeding problem very soon if they keep dating within their clans, so. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, it also would have been really cool to see how they could be so close at first and then grow to be so different and hostile. I mean, I can maybe see how that could work now, but, you know, whatever. So, you know, I don't know, tell me what you guys think. This is just something that I've thought ever since I've read Dawn of the Clans for, so, like, 2 years. I don't know, it just doesn't, I just don't see why they have to dislike each other. And then just, like, looking more into it, I just don't see why, you know, they're killing each other over some rocks, but then they're like, oh, we need some herbs because, like, help, like, we have, like, whatever, some disease, and they're like, oh, you want what? You get those herbs, like, I don't care, like, take them from us, like, you need them. I don't know. I just wish things were, like, a little different. I think that, like, what we have is, like, okay. Like, I never questioned it until I read Dawn of the Clans, as I said, but I think it would be very cool to see the authors, like, push some of the concepts in Warriors a lot more. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you guys agree or disagree, if you guys have, like, anything you'd like to add on. But that's about it I have to say for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm actually, you know, making this video from a new computer. I've had a very busy past few days. I hope it's not, like, affecting this video quality, but, like, whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching, and, you know, see you all in the next one.